What should ordinary people do in the US-China trade war? The US-China trade war is escalating rapidly. So what should regular people like you and me do? I'm not a financial expert, and I rarely talk about these kinds of topics. But this time feels different. It seems like what's happening could affect all of us. So in this video, I'll break things down as simply as I can, based on what I've seen and read here in China. On April 2nd, President Trump announced new retaliatory tariffs. By April 10th, the US delayed the new tariffs for 75 countries by 90 days. But not for China, which now faces tariffs up to 125% starting immediately. Of course, things are changing by the hour, so none of this is set in stone. Why is the US doing this? This is classic Trump-style pressure. Push hard, then negotiate. The US feels confident. It's the world's largest importer. In today's market, supply is greater than demand. No one wants to lose a beer like the US. If other countries comply, the US earns big. If not, it forces talks. The goals are simple: open markets. Move factories back to the US right now. US manufacturing makes up only 11% of its GDP, and that's low. How did China respond? According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, China will fight to the end. They've already imposed 84% tariffs on all US goods, no exceptions. They've blacklisted 11 American companies, restricted 16 more, and suspended imports of 6 US products. Why can China push back so hard? Because they've been preparing for years, building a more flexible supply chain that doesn't rely entirely on the US energy. They can import from Russia or the Middle East. Agriculture as South America, airplanes, Airbus, or build their own. Even with semiconductors, the final production often takes place in Asia, not the US. Some analysts predict the world might split into two economic blocs: US-led, China and the EU. If China and the EU, the world's second and third largest economies, combine, their import volume could surpass the US. If more countries begin trading in euros or yuan, the US dollar's dominance could face serious pressure. Still, almost everyone agrees, in this kind of war, nobody wins. Not even the US. China's imports from the US have already dropped from 19% to 13% over the last 5 years. Even so, 125% tariffs will still hit many companies hard. Meanwhile, American consumers may lose access to cheap Asian goods, prices will spike, and US farmers could face major losses, especially for soybeans and wheat. That's my quick summary of what's happening from the view inside China. But beyond governments, what about ordinary people like us? In the past few days, we've all seen it. Global supply chains are a mess. Businesses are nervous, stock markets are dropping. Investors are panicking. Even my own tiny business has been hit, mostly due to USD fluctuations. Personally, I think the world won't go back to the way it was. Markets are just too unstable. For now, the smartest move might be to hold onto your money, limit risky investments, and avoid trying to buy the dip. Or if you're more optimistic, maybe this is just part of the process, and we'll figure it out like we always do. We're all living through history in real time. One day, we'll have stories to tell our kids about this, and honestly, that's kind of amazing, isn't it?